Hello and welcome to the Morningstar series, Why Should I Invest With You? I'm Emma Wall and I'm joined today by Sheldon MacDonald, manager of the Architas multi-asset blended range. Hello, Sheldon.
Morning, hi.
So you're here today to say something quite controversial, I think, and that is that we've already come to the end of the value rally. Now, value seemed to resurge at a midpoint last year. Perhaps we could backtrack and talk about what led up to that point and why there was that shift from growth to value.
Sure. So, tracking back even further, after the financial crisis, we got used to terms like financial repression, lower for longer, the hunt for yield. In that environment, stocks which could deliver steady, stable earnings and ultimately steady, stable, growing dividends were the ones that were in favour. That was all very well and good. And that led to the more economically sensitive stocks being ignored, and they lagged behind. Now, towards the end of last year, we had this resurgence. Suddenly, global reflation was the buzzword. Now, Trump has probably got a lot to do with that. We're not necessarily saying Trump was responsible for the global reflation, but what he did was really ignite sentiment with the promise of these policies that he was going to bring in, business-friendly. He's going to cut taxes, he's going to increase infrastructure spending, he's going to reduce regulations. All of this business-friendly stuff got everyone really excited that actually maybe now we are on the cusp of something special. And what that did was to spur interest in these more economically sensitive stocks which had previously lagged. There's a valuation argument for them, well, value stocks, clearly. So investors started piling into these stocks, and there was, as you said, this massive rotation out of the previously advantaged stocks, the growth areas, those steady growers, into value, to the extent of something like a 15% differential in about a quarter, which is massive, really. Since then, that trade has kind of rebounded a little. I think from the start of the year, we've started to see some pushback on Trump on the policies that he's wanting to bring in. The flagship really was the healthcare policy. We've seen the scale of the pushback on him. Now, most presidents probably only get through about 10% of what they want to do. Given the scale of pushback and the controversy that Trump seems to court, maybe 10% even is asking a lot. So given the scale of the pushback and the difficulties that it might have to push through some of those policies, investors are starting to reevaluate whether really this it will all work out, whether we will get the massive resurgence in growth that we'd started to believe in. And so on the back of that, things have started to turn around.
Now, is this a minor setback, or is this really the end of the value rally? Because value fund managers, unsurprisingly, because one does talk up one's shop, said when the reflation change started to come through and value stocks began to this 15% upsurge, they said this is it, this is the beginning of perhaps a 4-year market rotation. Finally, this is our time to shine. And less than 6 months later, you're saying it's over.
So never say never. Value stocks underperformed for probably the best part of 7 years, with a couple of small corrections within that. And so, yes, there probably is a long way to go. The trouble is, I guess, that it's predicated on this whole global reflation story. And maybe we do get to that sort of situation again at some point in the future, maybe in the near future. But at the moment, we're just seeing some of the initial promise rewinding, people just drawing back their expectations. It was only a little while ago, probably less than a year ago, we were all worried about deflation. Yes, inflation is now rising, but we're past the main point of the main impetus from energy stocks, energy prices and so on. Inflation now starting to taper off a little. So people are just starting to reassess their views about things going forward. Never say never, though. I do accept the argument that value did underperform for a long time, and there probably is at some point quite a long way for it to recover.
Sheldon, thank you very much.
Thanks. Cheers.
This is Emma Wall from Morningstar. Thank you for watching.